I often ask myself questions. In fact, I'm the kind of person who questions everything. And quite frankly, I'd say a lot of things in today's age are very questionable. That's if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, then you won't see anything wrong with what's going on, with all that's going on. Although you might feel that something is wrong, you won't be able to pinpoint the actual issues. Hence, most people now talk about the symptoms as opposed to dealing with the causes. And right now, the question which I'm contemplating, in fact, I'm asking myself if whether it would be justifiable to say that we've lost our way, whatever the way might look like. However, I can only imagine that what we are witnessing now, what we are living, is not it. It's actually far from it. For me personally, it feels unnatural. Although we keep the momentum going, because as far as my generation in particular is concerned, what we are doing is what we know. It's what we've been taught. And so, I'm asking myself if whether we lost our way as far as union is concerned. More particularly, union within a gender scope. And yeah, we have. For a reason. The reason is simple. The reason is that we've been led astray. There's this script, this typical narrative tied to gender, where on one hand, young men to be precise, are told that they have to earn their value, their worth. Well, at least within the society context. But of course, we live within societies. And so most men can't handle or bear the thought of not being valued, or at least being valuable, because if they perceive themselves as not valuable due to the help of society at large, then they will feel invaluable, unworthy. And so most of them, most young men, most of us, never get to the point of actually exercising our value. We never get to see it. Because we've been made to believe that we don't have it inherently. We have to earn it. We have to fight for it. And this so-called worth, so-called value, is mainly tied to the things that one can acquire, the amount of money one can amass, as if money and material possession are the highest forms of abundance. I'd say they're not. I'd say life is. I'd say water is. The things that we overlook. That's my main point. The things that we take for granted. Things that we actually cannot live without. but we don't stop to appreciate because we have them in so much abundance. So we worry about acquiring material possessions because of the script. Then on the other hand, you find young women being made to believe that they don't have to cultivate character, that they are born with value, that their value is bound to end. It's limited. It reaches its peak between the ages of 18 to at least 25, according to the script, that is. And we believe these things. We believe what we are taught without actually questioning things, without actually taking our being into account, our nature, what we are led from an internal point of reference. Because there's always something talking to you. Some call it God. Some call it intuition. There's always this thing talking to you, leading you. But it seems as though we are so intoxicated by outside noise that we never stop to listen to this higher power. And so things are the way that they are. No surprise there. And I'm afraid they will only get worse. We have lost touch with what we are meant to be, which is something that we can never be taught, really. We only need to be. By not causing harm, by uplifting, we will come to realize our highest potential, respectively as men and women. And just the other day, I saw this video of this girl talking about how man came from women. And because men came from women, men are supposed to serve women, which is a complete fallacy. Men and women came from God and were created to coexist. There's no one without the other. We are like two sides of the same coin. Hence, we need each other. Otherwise, there is no coin. And so the purpose of both man and woman is to serve life, as opposed to serving desire, as opposed to serving a system which exploits our confusion. The confusion which stems from the fact that we are unconscious of our worth. In fact, we believe we are not worthy unless we look a certain way, unless we have certain things. And those 2 points are both tied to each gender respectively. The looking is important to the woman. The having is important to the man. At least it has been made important, as if it's actually justifiable. as if it's actually rooted in reality, while in actual fact, it's only existing for the sole purpose of benefiting the people who came up with this nonsense. We need each other. My dear young girl, my dear young woman, you don't have to be independent. Yes, I get that you've been frustrated for a long time because you've been stripped of your power in some regards, to some extent. You've been made to feel like a slave, and now they've given you the freedom to be as you want, and you think that's a coincidence. It was all planned. Everything that seems to be trendy at any given time is a tactic meant to cause further separation, meant to divide us. That way, we are easily conquered. And so, the main point of this video is this. You don't have to earn your worth. You are worthy by the mere fact that you exist. That's evidence enough. If you do need evidence, otherwise you wouldn't exist.